Coming up next, Bookin It wraps up their looking back discussion on their miniseries of the Wingfeather Saga. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bookin It. I am your humble and eloquent host, Cooper Cobbs, and today we have our three panelists, Matthew Killingsworth,
Howdy.
Tanner Lewis,
Hello.
and Isaiah Ryaski.
Ellie.
Wow, Isaiah, that was probably by far the silliest hello you've ever given the podcast. Hello.
Okay.
Well, fellas, we better... that was a weird intro. Okay, we better start because we want to wrap up our looking back episode that was only supposed to be one episode, but now it's 2 episodes.
We just have such great content just spewing out of our mouths that
Hey, if you ever want good content, just give us a call. We'll answer.
you can't stop us, man. I mean, we're just too good.
Yep, but apparently somebody can touch Tanner in fantasy football. Oh, okay. Let's just keep going. All right, okay. Next question is, what is your favorite character and why?
Do you want me to go ahead and start?
Sure, Matthew.
My favorite character is Lily for the reasons I gave last
Lily.
episode. For the reasons I gave last episode.
You can expound on this. Or
Okay,
expand.
because of her courage in fighting the battle of, what is the battle actually called? The Battle of the Hollows, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah, the Battle of the Hollows in the Throg section of the book, and because of, like, what a big role she plays in the battle, like, if she wasn't there, like I already said, they would have no chance, and it's crazy that a, like, 10-year-old girl that's crippled is the one that makes such a difference in a war, and I thought that was amazing how he added that in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I liked
Yeah, Isaiah.
Janner a lot. Just how he took up the role of becoming Artham, basically.
Classic
You know,
Isaiah liking the main character. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's given good reasons. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Those were my reasons. How he
Oh,
took
yeah.
up the role. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tanner, what about you?
My favorite character would have to be Nag the Nameless, and once again, I will have to expound upon this. I've said this earlier in other podcasts, but the reason I love Nag the Nameless, and now I can, no restraints again, people. It's feeling great right now. The reason that I love Nag the Nameless so much is not that he's a good person. Just clarifying this, people. I'm not that weird. But it's because of the story of redemption that he has in this series. And he's the classic bad guy, sits up in a high tower in the depths of a mountain castle, weird thing. And he just kind of sits and broods destruction of the earth. But he he just has this overall, like, amazing redemption story at the very end of just, like, learning that he has a name, learning that his parents loved him, like, all of these lies that have been fed to him over, like, hundreds of years have just all been broken down, and you see him for what he really is, a very unloved boy.
Yeah.
Totally. You want to go ahead and share what Nag the Nameless's name is?
Does he remember?
Oh, man, it starts with a D or
It's
something.
Devin.
No, I think it's Davian or something like that.
Davian,
Maybe,
that's
I don't
it.
know
That's
how to
it.
pronounce
Davian.
But I just saw
It's
it, I was
Davian.
like, there's that one end of the chapter where they were
It's
all
Davian,
like, they
it's
found out
Davian.
his name.
He's
They
like,
found out
they're
his
like,
name,
"What is
and
your
they
name?
knew by he went.
What is your name?
Yeah.
Our last
I
name.
have no name.
My name is Davian Wingfeather. Yeah, that's a pretty hot
There's
name.
the one where they heard his name though, and they were like, "Oh, that's why he doesn't go by name."
Yeah.
And they
Hey,
were
I
like,
bet you-
"It's
I
the
bet
most
you-
horrible name ever." I was like, "Wait, Devin's not a horrible name. It's just
great.
kind of weird for like a big bad guy who has no name. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm Devin.
No, it's Davian.
Who cares?"
It's better than Dustin.
Hey, if I care and you say no one cares, then your argument's just been destroyed.
Yeah,
I don't think I
because-
said no
No
one
one.
cares. I think I said who cares. But anyways,
Which is basically the same
Well, I
thing.
care.
Okay, So let me give my favorite character. I'm still gonna go with Arthur Wingfeather. I know Matthew kind of would have gone then didn't, but I still think the early part of the series carries him through. He's just a great guy. I know it wasn't always like this, I'm sure, but he always cared for the Wingfeathers. And I know the reason that
Not
he's
enough.
okay, Matthew. Okay, he's so tormented because he left Esmond behind, even though Esmond told him to leave him behind, and it just hurt Arthur for a very long time.
Wait, didn't Esben say don't leave me?
Yeah, but he still felt like he shouldn't have left him. Yeah, I know, but I still think that Arthur is still a great character. Like I said, what is it? Protect, protect, protect. I think that's awesome. I know that the last
better
book
when
does
Janer
some
does it,
things. Okay, I know in the last book does some things that it probably shouldn't have to him, but I still like him a lot, and yeah, that's my reasons why I like Arthur. That's my favorite character. All right. Next question, I mean. We have to rate how many rotten totatoes would you give each book?
95.2.
That's pretty good.
Okay, wait. Are we gonna give the overall saga, or are we gonna give each? Wait, actually, let's just give the overall saga, and then
Let's do it.
because the next one is rank the books.
Isaiah said 95.2. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
that's better than Black Panther that Rotten Tomatoes gave Black Panther. So very impressive.
No, this is Rotten Potatoes.
That's right.
Yeah,
This is Rotten
totally different
Tomatoes.
thing, dude.
Your trusted source
What
for
is a
book
potato?
rating.
Is it basically a
It's
tomato?
a potato and a tomato mix, I think. I don't know. You didn't really get
How
the
does that
description.
work?
You don't ask questions.
They
Don't ask
breeded
questions.
them.
Just don't ask questions. Alrighty.
Okay,
So I say give it
I will-
95.2, Matthew.
I'm gonna give it 93.6.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Tanner?
And I would give it a 97.2.
Ooh.
Okay.
People
I'm
just think of a
going-
number and then throw out random decimals.
Yeah, that's basically it. I was going to say
Basically,
96, but
yeah.
I'm going to say 96.6. I think that it's a great series, great saga, very beautiful, very emotional, great sibling story, and that's why I give it a 96.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Ranking books.
Yeah, ranking the
worst to best.
And why?
I will answer first because I always answer first. That's kind of my thing. Unless I'm nice and let like Tanner answer first because he hasn't been here in a while or something. But for now, I'm gonna answer first. I'm ranking them book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, worst to best.
Same.
All right. Tell us why.
For obvious reasons, because 1 is the worst, 2 is the second worst, 3 is the second best. 4 is the
Bro, this is going to be a really short
But-
episode. Come on.
I'm fooling. Okay. No, 1 I did not enjoy very much at all. Yeah. Then 2, you got to know the characters. They went on this journey, kind of cool, whatnot. And then some stuff happens towards the end. That's good. Janer almost gets a girlfriend, but then he ditches her. So yeah, that's a decent book. Still not super great in my opinion. It was like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a book I could compare it to that I enjoyed about equally as much as number 2.
The Hobbit?
And I'd say The Hobbit. Yeah. I don't think I enjoyed it any more than I enjoyed The Hobbit.
Yeah.
So number 3 was a lot better, and I was saying this on the episode, or on the, what is it called? Monster in the Hollows episodes, which is book number 3. I really like book number 3 better than the first 2. I just like the feel of the Hollows, like how it is over there. Everybody's like a warrior, and I love the Durgan thing. Like that whole section of the book is really cool. How they get to be Durgans. And then number 4, like I don't think anyone's gonna say number 4 is not the best. So I mean, it's just
Yeah,
the
it's a good
best.
point.
'Cause it has the best parts of all the other books all squished together, plus added extra best parts. And like Tanner says, in the end, it ties most. I mean, pretty much all the knots together.
Yeah.
It ties them all
Or
together.
in
at the end,
Matthew,
so
in
that's
Matthew's
great.
mind, was it 93% of all knots it ties together, or all threads it weaves together?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
was
on his
93.6,
Rotten
but
Tomato.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Rotten Tomato. Okay. All right, Isaiah, and give different reasons since we know it's the same order. If you can.
Same order and same reasons as Matthew. I was actually thinking that. Don't judge me. I was actually going to say that.
Haha. So yes, it's the same order. Um, I mean, the first book was. They were all good. The first book was
Yeah,
probably
I
the
agree.
worst one though because there has to be a book that sets up everything. So it doesn't.
Yeah,
It's just
that's a
setting
good
up the
point.
storyline. Like later on in the fourth book, it ties everything in that they set up in the first book, but that just makes the fourth one better, not
That's
the
true. I
first
agree.
one.
I think that latter books make the first book better. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I still think if you read them separately, it goes in that same order. And then
Yes.
I don't really know exactly why two and three or three is better than two. They're both pretty much the same. I just like
Yeah.
three a little bit better, mainly because like of the Durgan Patrol and all that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's some
The
hard not
hollows
to
give you
look good in
vibes.
black, ain't it? That's my favorite line from Friedrich.
Thank you for putting "ain't" in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's his favorite word. All right, Isaiah, is that your reason? I don't think we need to say why you put 4 above 3 because it's pretty obvious. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanner, how about you?
Okay, so I am going to rank it the same again. It's they just progressively get better and better and better and better and better. The first one, the reason that that one's the last one in the ranking is just because it was so stereotypical. There wasn't a whole lot. It was a very slow moving book, in my opinion. You didn't really get anywhere. It moved at a snail's pace, right? It was very crucial to setting up everything in it, but it just moved so slowly that it had to be put at the bottom. Very crucial foundation, but not the best book. Second book, it gets faster. We start moving. We get more action that we loved in the first book, and then we get more foundations put in the story. We have the just all of these threads getting pulled back into the story that like Sarah Cobbler gets pulled in this book, and dragons get pulled back in. Like everything just kind of gets pulled in again, and then we keep progressing forward in the story. Faster moving, okay, better than the first book, still not the best book. Number three, book three. It is the second best book. My reason is the only reason that it's not the first. It's not my first favorite is because of the end scene of the last book of the War in the Wolf King. That's the only reason Monster in the Hollows is not my favorite book. Other than that, I loved it, the Monster in the Hollows. It it almost got it almost got top ranking, like almost got top ranking. It was very just well written. It had like this homey feel to it. Um I loved the school scenes, like everything. All my favorite part of the entire book's protect, protect, protect. That was like the theme of the entire book. It was just a very well written book in my opinion. And then book number 4, the, oh, Monster in the Hollows also had the Reckoning of the Bunge. That's my favorite scene ever. It's greatness. Um, then we have the War in the Wolf King. War in the Wolf King, best book by far. Except like just the first like part, it was kind of slow moving. It meshed really well together. I said in the War in the Wolf King part 1 that like it feels like we've just gone straight from the end of the second book to the beginning of from the end of the Monster in the Hollows to the beginning of the War on the Wolf King. It just meshed so well together that those that like beginning and end part for the War in the Wolf King and the Monster in the Hollows just kind of goes in my brain together. So when I'm thinking about those two books, it's hard for me to discern which one is which. And then so loved that part. And then the middle part was okay. It was kind of mediocre. Felt like the second book a little bit, just with a little bit more faster pace again. And then just going back and forth between everything. And then there's the very end part, my favorite of all. Cooper brought up in the last episode of like all of the Just the meeting the maker, that was amazing. I loved those parts. Not my favorite part, but I loved those parts. And then there was the redemption of Nag at the very end, and then all threads get tied up at the very end. There's redemption everywhere. Everything gets done. We get to my favorite. We get to my second favorite and best protect scene of Janner running towards it, Calamar, and wrapping himself around the stone and saving everyone around there and unfanging them. And we just get that story of redemption. And then best scene, like the kind of like the one thread that leads out of there. All threads get tied, and then there's just this one thread that continues to go on about Janner and everyone going to go like get Janner some water from the well.
All right. Thanks, Tanner. So yeah, I think my order is a little different than you guys. So I think that first is the worst. Like I said, I think Isaiah had a great point about it being necessary to set up the story, and I fully agree with that. But it's just not the best written.
You like 2 better than 3?
I do. I'll explain why.
Huh.
I also just think it was a little slow. There's not a lot that happened. And then the ending made it interesting, but I just think it could have been better. But again, it was a necessary book. Like the origin stories of superhero movies are never the best ones, but they're necessary. And then I do like number 2 better than 3, so I'll give the reason for 2 being better than 3. Number 1, I do really like books where people go on a journey, like The Hobbit. I think it's really interesting, and I think that it was such a cup of cold water compared to On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness, because so much happened in that book compared to what happened in On the Edge. So that's one reason. Reason number 2, I just really like the evolution of Janner. I think there's a lot more evolution of his story of him becoming the Throne Warden in North of Eden, and I think that story really comes full circle. So that's one other reason. And then Monster in the Hollows, I guess, I don't know, I just don't like things where people stay still. I mean, I don't mind them, but they stayed still. I like the ending. I did like the Reckoning of the Bunch. That was pretty awesome. But again, I think North of Eden for me was better. And then, of course, War in the Wolf King, that great book. I don't know if I give many reasons why, but I'll give some. First of all, again, they're on a journey. They're fighting people. A lot happens. It's really as beautiful. They kind of with the Maker. My favorite scene is in there. And just Janner sacrificing himself and everything was just really, really beautiful. So, yeah, that's my rating. Let's see here. What's next? Oh, yeah. This is the most interesting part. So, Isaiah, why don't you go first on this one? What would you say to Andrew Peterson if he was listening to this?
That
Write more books. Write more
yeah,
books.
definitely write more.
books.
That it was a really great series, but maybe if you write more books, just to pay attention to the plot holes and make sure those are fixed.
All right.
Roasted.
Don't roast Andrew Peterson. We like Andrew
sorry.
Peterson.
Yeah, come on,
I'm kidding.
Isaiah.
I'm kidding. It's probably a request. All right. Tanner or Matthew?
Amazing job, bro. I mean, not that I'm calling you bro, but like amazing job.
Dude,
And
Andrew Peterson, Matthew literally said that the last half of this book was close to Harry Potter level for him, and that is pretty
I know.
impressive for Matthew.
That's basically highest praise for me.
Yeah.
And it really was, because I can just, like, not even the content, I can't even put it in words, but just the way I was reading it. Like, when I read Harry Potter, I don't want to stop reading the book until the book is over, and then I want to pick up the next book. And that's how the last half of Ward and the Wolf King was for me. Like, I really got into it, and starting somewhere in Throg, probably the part I was talking about with Lily and the whole battle going on there, from that point to the end, I was just hooked on the book. So that's when I would go read it in like 2 to 3 hour sessions at a time. And that's Harry Potter level for me. So great job.
Yeah. For me, I wouldn't say write more books afterwards, because I think that it's a great ending. I don't want it to spoil the ending for me, because I think that the ending loses its potence if you write more books after. But I would love to see books.
We meant like write a whole nother series.
Oh,
Like,
Totally.
write more books.
Do that. Secondly,
Please.
I want to see some like Star Wars prequels of the Wingfeather Saga, but don't
No,
do them as
come on.
bad as the prequels. But like I love to hear the story of the first epoch or stuff like that. And then I know you did like the Wingfeather Tales, and that was really cool. But I like to see
You
just
should write a
the
whole story about the dragons.
Oh yeah, that'd be really interesting. Yeah,
That would actually be
and
really
with
cool, yeah.
with Alster Will and Omer, that'd be really cool. I like to see some
Oh, yeah.
prequel books. I think those would be really interesting. Great job with the series. I loved it. I may have
Yeah,
gotten
just make
teared
that
up.
happen for us. Thanks, man.
Yeah, make it happen. If you're listening to this, which you probably aren't, but hey, we love you, and we love you very
Yes.
much.
We would shake your hand if we were in the same room as you, all of us.
I think
Oh,
I have shaken
definitely.
your hand. I think I have.
Yeah. All I have to say is that you had a very well thought out book. I think that I believe you thought it out. If you didn't, that's even more impressive. But you just had a very well thought out book. It was very linear. I felt like I was there, especially for the War and the Wolf King. Just keep on writing, and obviously don't finish the like actual saga. Like don't continue Janner's story. I think I agree with Cooper. I kind of want to know, but it was just a great ending, and I think continuing that would spoil it. Just keep writing. I would agree. Like, do some of those, the footnotes that you had. Just write some more stories like off of those. Like,
Yeah, that'd be really
do
cool.
some stuff about the first epic. Like, do some things like some history of Arear. Just things. Do something about like the history of Nag the Nameless and some stuff like that. Like going back in time before the Wingfeathers and just coming back to them and like progressing the story a little bit more. Like give some background.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Let's do some donor shout-outs. Matthew, what would someone want to do if they want a donor shout-out?
They would go to patreon.com/bookinit and sign up for any of our $5 plus tiers.
That's right.
We also have a $2 plus tier, which gets you access to all our special Patreon posts. We just posted some funny memes that we
Yeah, it's
made
pretty funny.
the other day while it was raining.
But of course,
And
this
so-
will be like that'll be a few weeks ago now.
Right. But so yeah, you get special access to like our weekly posts on there. And so yeah, that's something we've started. But if you want a shout out on the show, make sure to donate $5 or more
That's right.
on patreon.com. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So how are we gonna do our shout-outs this time?
I don't know, man. I'm running out of creative
I
ideas.
know. The Wingfeather Saga. I think we've done all of it. Let's see here.
What about we connect them to a book?
Like
Connect
just
them to a
we just
book.
repeat books, like for like I'll. So let's do
rate the Patreons
Isaiah's
is what you're
grandparents.
saying.
Yeah, just like
Oh, no, we definitely should.
How many rotten potatoes are the Patreons?
Oh, okay, cool. Out of 10. Oh,
Alrighty.
okay.
Nana, 10 out of 10. I mean, 100 out of 100, obviously. Rotten Potatoes.
Van Peppy and Wayla. I'll give you guys a 99.93.
Oh my gosh,
Dang,
what the
roasted.
heck?
That's it.
No,
Alright,
so
Isaiah's
It's gonna be
grandparents.
boring if they're all 100, okay?
100 out of 100.
Yes. Alright, Tanner, you get Becky.
Becky, 100 out of 100.
It's gonna be
Oh,
boring
yeah.
if they're all 100. Come on.
Isaiah's
man.
Uncle Sebi, 100 out of 100.
Okay, that's true. But I'll take my Aunt Jenny and Uncle Sam. You guys will be
100 out of
no,
100.
no.
Isaiah's cousins,
No.
Moses
That's
and
it,
Tom,
Matthew, stop,
100
Matthew,
out
stop,
of
Matthew, stop.
100.
Stop. Ooh, 97.76.
Oh my gosh.
What-
Why are you
Dude,
doing
why do you
this?
hate your uncle and
Okay,
aunt?
Isaiah's
Okay, seriously,
cousins,
why
Moses,
did we do the thing then? 'Cause-
and Zara. It's funny if we just say 100 because Isaiah's cousins are 100.
Fine,
Okay.
everyone gets 100. There.
That's right.
Yes.
Definitely
Chris
Christopher.
Hagadon, 100 out
That's
of
right.
100.
Make sure you guys check
We
out
love
his
all our
podcast.
patrons equally, unless you're Isaiah. Isaiah.
I was
hates
just
some
doing it to make it
patrons,
more
but It's
interesting,
okay because there's
okay?
family members. So
That's right. Hey, please make sure to go to patreon.com/bookinit. The link is in the description or show notes, whatever you'd like to call it. If you can't donate for whatever reason, please rate and review us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. And
Please do that
please-
anyway.
yes, and until next time.
Keep on booking it.